right, I think we will get started here. Just a couple of housekeeping notes before I pass over the baton to Aimee here. If you have any questions that come up during the webinar, please feel free to send them as they come. We'll probably tackle them towards the end of the session, unless Aimee already addresses it during her presentation. Other than that, Aimee, I think we're ready to get started.
Perfect. Thanks, Sonia. Just share my screen here. So today I'm going to go through eDigital signatures. I've already got a space set up for myself, but I want to run through all of the initial steps on how do you add eDigital signatures to your account, and then how do you go ahead and authorize and set up. So to access all third-party apps, you can just do that through the apps marketplace. So you can find that either in your little circle here under apps marketplace. You can also access it from any board using the three dots at the top. And if you search in here for eDigital signatures, it'll pop up. We've already got it installed on the account, but if you don't have it installed already, there'll just be a box here that says install. Only admins on the account can install, but there will be the option for, if you're not an admin on the account, you can request it and then the admin can install it for you. So once it's installed on the account, you can use it on almost any board. So I've already got a full space set up here for eDigital signatures, and eDigital signatures is located as an item view app. So it's just in the little chat bubble in the updates area. So if I go in here, I already have it downloaded. We have a demo version of eDigital signatures, but you can also add view here and access it from here. So you're just going to hit add widget, and then it's going to add onto your account. And there's 3 different steps for authorization. So first you need to be an admin on the account, and you need to access Eligeo's app portal. That's the first step. There can only be one user on the account, part of the Eligeo app portal. Secondly, you need to have a DocuSign account. So it needs to be a non-developer or regular DocuSign account. And it's just going to ask for you to sign in so that it can access your information. And then thirdly, Monday.com has an authorization process. So there's just going to be a list of visuals and permissions that eDigital signatures needs from you to access certain Monday information, and you'll just have to hit authorize. So once you've done those 3 steps, you'll be taken to a page that looks like this. And so what you have to do is choose a board for any sent or drafted documents to be housed in. You can either choose a board that pre-exists, which is what I'm going to do, or you can auto-generate an eDigital signatures board. I'm just going to click this so you can see what it looks like. And that'll automatically kind of fill out your settings. It'll tell you your boards are valid, and it'll show up once you reload at the bottom of your workspace here. And it'll look just like this. So what the eDigital board does is it tracks an envelope ID. This is a number that's coming from DocuSign. And then you'll see a status, the date that it was sent, and whatever name and email that the user of Monday put in when they were sending. I'm going to be using this DocuSign record items instead, because I actually sent a document to myself, and I just want to show you the status change as we go through these steps. So right now you can see this is sent, and I'll show you in a little bit once I've signed it so you can actually see the process of how that works. I'll go back to the regular eDigital signatures board. I've just got a few examples here. I'm going to, if you ever pick a board, like a repository board, like this one or this one, and you change your mind or there's a different board that you would like to use, you can use this clear settings button, and it'll take you back to this initial setup space, so I can now choose my regular record items board. And now I'm back here. So for eDigital signatures, you have 3 different ways to send documents to different people. I can either use my DocuSign template, so my DocuSign account. I have a few different options here. So I'll go ahead and send one just so you can see what it looks like. At the moment, we do not have the option to map the fields into the signer name and signer email, but we are hoping to include that in the near future. So just keep that in mind. I know that's an option that, or a feature that users are hopeful for. And so what this will do is it'll open your DocuSign account using the template that you selected, and then you can put your fields in for signatures and send it right from here. So I've got different areas. Really all I want is a space for different signatures at the bottom. So the employee and the witness need to sign. And I will hit send, and that will take me back to my Monday tracking board, so that sent document board. And you can see here, this is the document that I just sent. So it's draft. Once it's sent and Donna has opened it, this is a fake person. So once Donna has opened it, it'll change to sent. And then once it's signed, it'll change to sign. I think I'm getting this auto responded because it's not a real email address. So I probably sent back this email does not exist or failure to deliver. But if you see this, it means that it responded back and you're not going to be getting a response. Go back into eDigital signatures. The second way that you can send a document is using the files column on your eDigital signatures board. So I've got this files here, and what's nice about this option is you can map the information from your board onto the form or onto the file. So if I've got, on here, I think I've got a proposal date, I've got an expiry date, sorry, she's being slow to load, and then the name of the item. All of those fields can be mapped into. It might be faster to just download it and open it. Oh, there it goes. So proposal date, and then this is the name of the item. And then I've got my payment deadline here. So if I want to map different columns from my Monday.com board, I can do that. All that I need to have is a $sign, the name of the column, and they just have to be between these two curly brackets. So if I wanted to send a document to R. Smith on that non-compete clause, with the proposal date is June 14th, the payment deadline is June 28th, and it's just the name is just going to be Rob Smith, I can do that. Just as a side note, I put it up here, there are a handful of column types that you cannot map onto docs within Monday. So one of them is location, which is like the maps column type, progress bar, so the one that measures different status against each other, the auto number, item ID, last updated, creation log, any formulas you have, and then you can't put a file on a file. So these are the column types that can't be included if you're mapping onto any sort of docs in any app and any medium with Monday. They just aren't allowed with Monday's API. But if I go in here, I can now choose that second option to say send using a files with the files column. I have to choose my files column in my settings here. If I change my mind, I can go backwards and reset this, or I can just exit out of it. And then it's the same sort of steps. So I'm sending this to Rob. This is another fake email. So we'll see if I get that same auto response again. With this option, you can do carbon copies, and then same with sending using the boards, you can do carbon copies. But now if I say, oops. Oh, I'm getting an error here, sorry. Might have to go to this option instead and see if it'll work. Sorry about that. My demo version sometimes gives me an error. Okay. I don't know what that error is about. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to get my developer to look at that. It was working a minute ago. Oh no. There it goes. Okay, it was just having a delay. So usually you have to see the little file name here for it to send, and for some reason it just was not loading. Let's try this one more time. There we go. And now you'll see all of those fields will have filled in automatically. So the date filled in, the name filled in, and now I can put my signatures here. And send this. So same sort of steps, hopefully normally without the error. And I'm just going to go back to the main board here. And you can see now I've got that third option for Rob, and it's a draft and I'm not getting that auto response, so that's good. And then finally, I have sent using another board. So on this final board, I've got my files column. It's this is just a quote, and it's going to be the same steps. So I'll go into the same option here at the top. We'll just send another one. And you can see anytime you send a document, it's going to be saved in an updates area, and it'll take you to the board, to your record items board. But now the third way to send is through a board, and I'll just do the same thing. Perfect. Select board. So this is where you have to select the board that you want to use. I want this send using another board. Quote, the files column. And it's the same sort of steps, so it'll take you to your DocuSign account. You can place your signature if you need to. Put any information in that you need to. Once it's sent, it'll be tracked on your DocuSign record items for later use, and then you'll be able to see when someone actually signs a document. So I can place, again, a signature. This isn't the best example because it's a quote, but I can place a signature, send this, and then it will be tracked again on my record items. So now what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to sign that first document that I sent to myself here, so you can see the status is sent, and I'm just going to put a quick signature on it here, and you'll be able to see that it'll update once I'm finished. And I just received an email to say that I got it. You're all done. So I might have to reload. Now you can see it's completed, and once a document is completed, it's tracked in this updates area. So I can see my signed document here. I do have a question. Can you upload a PDF file? Unfortunately, at this time, we can't do PDF files. It has to be docs. But we are working on having a feature to give users the option if they want to map items from the board or not. And if they choose not to map items, then they can use any sort of document, be it an image, PDF, so it won't really matter. So we're working on that. It's on the roadmap. We'll see how long it takes for us. Hopefully it'll be in the very near future. So that is a feature that's coming out. That being said, on your DocuSign account, you can upload and use any sort of document. So if you wanted to upload a PDF or an image as a template to your DocuSign account, you can totally do that, and then just use that template to send from Monday. But do know in the very near future that we will be having the option to have PDFs and documents, PDFs and images used instead of just documents. But you won't be able to map any of the information. So if I wanted to have, proposal date or payment deadline, I can't put that on a PDF. That's just how Monday operates. I hope that answers your question. And that is kind of eDigital signatures. There's not much else to cover. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Aimee, since we just talked about the roadmap and everything else that is possibly coming into the near future versions, can you tell us what other kind of updates we can expect?
Yeah, so what we're hoping to do with eDigital signatures is, like I mentioned at the very beginning, we want to be able to take sort of the name of the item and the email address and put that into sender name and sender email, just to make things a little bit easier. So pick the column that's going to be filling those areas out. So back here quickly, just so you know what I'm talking about. So in this signer name and signer email, we want to be able to kind of have a drop down to say insert name, insert email. That'll just kind of speed things up, make it a lot more user friendly. And then yes, we're definitely adding in the option to have PDFs and images here instead of docx. Until very, very recently, that wasn't actually accommodated by Monday, but Monday has recently added and upgraded their API. So now we get some more features, which is really exciting for us as app developers, because we get to kind of improve things to make it a little bit better experience for you all. But hopefully that's very, very soon. Really depends on how fast it takes to develop it.
There's another question from the audience. The status column is a text type, not a Monday status type. It would be great to have it as an actual status so we can automate it in other boards.
Yeah, so
it's more of a suggestion.
This is having it be a word like this is a very specific developer coding issue. So we used a webhook for this. We weren't able to actually use a regular status column to track sort of sent, draft, received, responded. So yes, we 100% agree that it would be nice to have it as an actual status column instead of a text column. But to be able to have it function like this for the actual tracking, it's just how the webhooks work for the Monday API. We had to set it up this way.
Right. And if we have any other boards that we're using to track this in addition to this board, we could have dependencies from automations from Monday.com. Could we do that, Aimee? A status column, if the status changes to completed on this board, change it to done on another board. Could we do something like that?
Yeah, if it was a status column, it's really important that if you want to be able to track like this with your DocuSign account for sent and received, that you're using this eDigital board. So when you do that auto-generate board, you do want to use this, and you can change it around and, change the colors and change the titles, but you really do need to keep this status column static. That's why mine looks exactly the same. So at the moment, no, you really do need, for your record items, your eDigital board, you really do need it to look and function like this. The reason for that is, like you can see the envelope ID here. We've got unique identifiers being pushed from DocuSign, and then we've also got status being pushed from DocuSign, and DocuSign did not allow for an integration using the status column type. So you wouldn't really be able to use this necessarily for any sort of automation in Monday. think of this really just as a repository. So you're not really going to be working on this. This is really only for tracking your sent documents.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does to me.
Perfect.
And the other thing I was going to ask is, what level of users on Monday.com can access the add-ons? I know admins and team members can, but do you know if members can? Depending on your Monday.com subscription, you may have 10 or more members that you can invite. Do you know if members can access this add-on?
Do you mean guests?
Sure, but there's another category of members that you can invite on, but I guess they function a lot like guests. But would they be able to use this as a guest?
Guests and viewers can't use this. So let me go into, yeah, it should be fine to go into here. So there's different user types. I can have admin and members. Admins and members on the account can use eDigital signatures completely. Viewers can't. All they can do is view the board. They can't do anything really. And then guests can also not use the app. That's just a Monday security thing, but admins and members can use this. Viewers and guests cannot.
Okay.
And at the moment, item view apps do not function on the mobile app. So if you have any item view app from any company, not just Eligeo, even Monday, it doesn't function on the mobile app. They are working to have that available, but it's not available at the moment.
Soon, hopefully.
Soon, yeah. That's all on Monday. I wish I could do it for them, but no, that's all on Monday. So hopefully soon, because there's quite a few apps now by Monday, even like the CommuniHub and the item card that you can't use, or Billet that you can't use on your mobile app. So they are working really, really hard to have those available, as well as ours on top of that.
That is the end of the webinar. Thank you so much, Aimee, for joining us today and for giving us this lovely presentation. And I'm sure there will be some questions that come up later, but we can deal with them. Feel free to send them to us by email.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks so much.
Thank you.